All right, everybody, this is Warning to All Politicians Running for President 2024, part 114. So here you go. Here's the daytime shot of the lovely nighttime 113 and the 112 videos I did, or at least 113, whatever it was, last night. Anyhow, I got off on some tangents on the other ones there, trying to cover a lot of different things. Basically, you have to go to the basics on how things work, what's proven to work, and get rid of all the slogans and ideas that are coming from people who have vested interest in making money from government subsidies and stuff like that, and the politicians are carrying their water for them, and just really don't care if you know the difference between something that's good for the country and good for the economy and all that kind of stuff. And but there were some other things that I wanted to get into that I didn't. With regards to oil, and these people saying, "Oh, we're going to get off of oil and all this and everything." Like I said, hydrogen or battery powered cars and stuff might work. For the average commuter and stuff and everything. But what's going to work for these trucks replacing diesel? I don't think you're going to find anything as economical as proven as diesel. I mean, there's a lot of riggers. These trucks, I mean, take a beating. Everything's got to be. It's been improved and refined over the years. So many, that the engineers who design these engines and everything, all the components of these trucks, pretty much got it down. So to come in and say you're going to compete and get the same performance and then the same economy and the same costs and everything, to where you're going to be able to compete with diesel and stuff by using hydrogen or electric and all that, you're really reaching. So, excuse me, I'm sorry, I still smoke cigarettes. Anyhow, so looking at this whole thing, you're going to get rid of oil and all this and everything. All right. Look at all these refineries out there. The products they make are not only gasoline or diesel and stuff. And if you look at the cost of refining and stuff, they pretty much got that down to a T too. But there's a lot of products that come from refining that oil for gasoline that are secondary byproducts of the refining process to make gasoline, such as diesel. The heavier you go down, I mean, below diesel, then you got lubricants and like road tar and stuff like that. That are made products. So you look at all the things that petrochemicals are in, plastics, you name it. I can't name all the stuff, all kinds of things that come from products that are refined in the process of making gasoline. So you get rid of gasoline, well, guess what? You still need oil and lubricants and stuff. Are you going to go synthetics or some bio form of that for everything too? Because if you don't, then the price, if you get rid of gasoline, what are you going to do with all the gasoline? You see what I'm saying? You're going to refine this barrel of oil. All right, you got all the lighter stuff, the butane, oh hell, I can't remember all the lighter gases and stuff that come off the top of the refining process first. Then you have gasoline, then you get into the heavier stuff and diesel, and then the other stuff comes out of it. When they first did the refining and were making gasoline, diesel was pretty much thrown away. It was a byproduct. Until diesel engines were made and were refined and stuff, and they were able to start using the diesel. So, the price of all these other products that come from the refining process, they're going to go high because you can't just refine the oil to get those products without the profit from the gasoline. So them saying they're going to create all these green jobs and everything, it's like, well, you all right, let's say you say, hey, we're just going to do away with oil altogether, all the stuff that we do we're not going to refine anything for anything. You're putting millions upon millions of people out of work. Everybody that has anything to do with the running of the business, the processing, the transportation of petrochemicals, and you're globally, you're going to put millions of people out of work. And you're not going to replace them with jobs making fucking windmills, Joe Biden. So everyone says, well, we got to do something. Global warming, this and that. Well, we keep designing better engines. We cut out waste anywhere we can. You get real about what's essential and what's not essential. Maybe you close all the Disneylands and resorts and this, and you shut down tourism everywhere. It's a big time waste of fuel. Puts a lot of greenhouse gases. Now there's a certain point where things do have to progress. When freight was all hauled by the true Teamsters and stuff, horse and wagon and everything like that, they didn't want to see trucks. And a lot of the trucks back then, just running, that worked in the cities and stuff, were electric because they had the big chassis. You could put all the batteries in the bottom and stuff and charge them up at night, go make your deliveries during the day. So there is a niche for that type of thing within the cities and stuff, I guess. Something that's going to be like that. But out here on the road, pretty much keeping a piece of equipment moving 24/7 is the most profitable way to do it. And you're not going to do that having to stop and charge something up. You get electric trucks and stuff, they're not going to be team operated trucks. And the driver's going to have to shut down someplace where it can be charged while he's sleeping. And that's people say going robotics and driverless things and everything. Okay, you're going to put millions of people out of work. You're going to put them out of work. That means no tax dollars. You ever think about that? We're gonna have a society where robots do all the work. How are people going to make money? Have a big welfare system, pay people to stay at home so the robots do the work. Like the country ain't fat enough and lazy enough as it is. People, don't think things through. And now with these computers, you can model everything, the cause and effects and everything. Put in all the variables and everything, and see what's more than likely to happen in the future if you do things a certain way, opposed to another way. I mean, you can do it with a piece of paper and a pen and everything, and do the best you can get an idea yourself. I mean, so better have a calculator and some time. But the main good ideas and good inventions and stuff can't if they can compete and stand on their own, they will. It's like a natural order of things. That's the way it should be. The best and the strongest survive. The things that are no good and don't work and are wasteful go by the wayside. Good ideas win. Bad ideas don't win unless you subsidize them. Well, to save the planet, we gotta save the planet. We gotta do it different. We gotta. You're pissing in the wind. But anyhow, you got to think the refining process. Oh, we're going to get rid of gasoline out there in California by 2030, 2035. No fossil fuel vehicles allowed. It's like one of the movies from the 70s where they outlaw gasoline and stuff. Some Mad Max type shit, or not Mad Max, but Death Race, or those types of movies. There was one. It was like he was like the last outlaw, had a gas running car. They were after him and all that kind of stuff. But you got to think things through. You got to work it out. You just don't rush headlong and say, "Hey, we're going to do this because it sounds great. People like it." When I say I'm going to make green jobs, okay. You got to live in the real world, the practical world. And it being a global world and everything, hey, we're going to do this. All right. Guess what? We just took ourselves at being able to compete. We took ourselves out of every market around the world because now our goods are going to be so freaking more expensive than what the rest of the world makes, which already is the case because of the way they play with monetary systems and because other countries don't have the minimum wages and benefits and things like that, like we do in some other places. Like in Europe and stuff. We give a lot of foreign aid to a lot of these countries so they can turn around and buy our goods. And a lot of them are happy with that. They don't want to develop anything in their own countries and stuff. They'll take the foreign aid. They'll let us pay them to be our friends. Like Mexico, we give a shitload of money to Mexico, which doesn't need it. Mexico is not a poor country. People are poor. The nation itself isn't poor. It's a mismanagement of everything and the corruption down there. And they don't provide anything for their people. Trump is right. A lot of regulations have got to go. Because all it is been done is to hinder people and to hinder business and stuff. Yes, you can't have people pouring toxic shit into the rivers and all kinds of stuff and just belching, all kinds of toxic shit into the atmosphere. Some regulations and things were good. Hey, look, a lot of these people right now screaming about global warming and stuff weren't even alive until the 90s. Some not even till after 2000. They don't know what it was like, 60s and the 70s and stuff when you were choking on, if you went to a city, you were choking on all kinds of fumes. When the industrial areas were putting all kinds of smoke and stuff and everything into the skies. The air has gotten a lot cleaner. The burning of fossil fuels has gotten a lot cleaner. Since the 70s? Are you kidding me? People have no friggin' idea. But technology and innovation and competition led to all that. some regulation. Yeah, hey, we're going to put a mileage standard here on this and that and everything. You don't have the big old, 100% steel, big old boat cars anymore. Got some big SUVs and stuff, but the engine technology is better, and even they don't burn as much gas as what they used to. You can't just say we're going to do this and not think it through and model it out and see what the ramifications are. People say, yeah, battery operated. Look at that, no emissions, battery operated car. Well, you still got to make the electricity to charge the thing. If that's coming from coal or something else, burning of any type of fuel, it's not that clean. It's not green. And then you have all the battery. What are you going to do with all these batteries? Is there a huge market for used Prius where the batteries need to be replaced? I wonder why. You don't see a lot of used Prius on the car lots, do you? There's a certain point those electric cars, they don't have a resale. I mean, fixing a gas-powered car is expensive enough now in some of these places, what they want for labor and shops. Replacing those batteries and everything is very expensive. So that's why you don't see used Prius on lots. They should be selling, everyone wants to go green. Look, a used Prius, I'm going to get that. Should be selling like hotcakes. They're not. They're going to the junkyard. No one's going to spend that kind of money refurbishing a Prius, replacing the batteries in a Prius. It's the same as if you got a gas-powered vehicle where the engine's blown. You understand that? You want to go to a used car lot and buy a car with an engine that's blown, don't work? No, where's that go? It goes to the scrapyard. It's where all these used electric cars are going to go. It's to the scrapyard. And all the batteries are going to end up in some toxic landfill. Same with solar panels. When they get broke or are so degraded that they can't produce the amount of electricity they should and have to be replaced. Is there a big thing? Is there a big industry for recycling solar panels and car batteries for electric cars? If we don't do things the right way, we will hurt this economy. You'll hurt working people, and you will diminish our ability to compete around the world. And it will take tons of money and years to dig ourselves out of a hole that people are rushing us into, who don't sit down and do the math. And they say, follow the science, isn't it? Well, you better sit down with some people who know what they're talking about. And take global warming out of the equation. Just, hey, what's the best way, cost effective, everything, for 50 years to produce energy that's not going to, handicap the country and our ability to manufacture and compete and have a place in the global market. And that's what's wrong with joining these accords and everything like that. And that's what's wrong with having tunnel vision. We're going to do this and we're going to create these jobs and we're going down this way because we got this threat of global warming. We got to do it. We got to do it. They want to steer you and make you afraid, and you got to do it, because if you don't, the same thing with this COVID crap. Somebody explained to me why, year after year, when flu season comes around, same thing. You'd see it on the news. Emergency rooms in Chicago and New York are overwhelmed with flu, influenza, in constant commercials, get vaccinated before, and how many people were suffering from the flu around the country. You didn't see any of that now. All you saw was COVID. Every year the flu on its own would kill 20, 30,000 people, whatever the number is. Some say up to 60,000 people, whatever. And you'd see those death tolls for the flu. Didn't see them all this time since COVID came up, huh? And it's remarkable. Flu deaths, influenza cases, are down 98%. 98 freaking percent. But we got all these COVID. Maybe they're confusing the two. Maybe. Isn't COVID just a strain of the flu? Is that all it is? Yes, maybe a more deadly version, but, they say that this coronavirus is the common cold comes from a coronavirus. Did they propagandize and manipulate this way beyond what it needed to be so that they could reach certain means, so they could do certain things, so they could restrict small business owners? I don't get it. You tell me, yeah, you can go to Walmart and this and that. We're 1,000 people going there every day. But you shut down beauty parlors and this and that where maybe 50 people go to a day. Oh, no, you can't protect yourself there. But you can go over here to this Walmart where there's 1,000 people who walk through, who touch every single thing in the store and this and that. You got kids running around, runny noses and crap with no mask on. They're touching stuff. And even though you got a mask on, if air gets through it, guess what? The virus gets through it. You got people exhaling in that store. I didn't see where Walmart installed any big, giant air filter things sucking all the air out of the building every so many minutes and pumping fresh air in. But if you go sit down at a restaurant or you go to a beauty parlor or, a barbershop, you're going to be at risk. We can't have that. And you can end up spreading it. A place where maybe 50 people go per day. But you can go to a place that 1,000 people go today. See, there's so many things they've done that don't make any sense at all. Any sense. And I'm not saying you shouldn't take precautions. Like if business puts up a sign, you got to have a mask, or the state says to go in a public place. Hey, I'm not going to argue and be like it's a mask. Oh, you don't need the mask. I'll be the first one to tell you I think it's a placebo, but I'll put it on. All it is a fucking placebo. Make people feel safer, but it still gives us control over them. When we first started out at a truck stop, had a McDonald's in it out in California, and they got the little 6-foot space markers, circles on the floor, and you had to stay 6 feet back from the fucking counter. And, kids behind plexiglass, got his mask on, this and that. So I'm trying to read the menu up through the plexiglass. I know, what do you got to read the menu at McDonald's for? Because I was just looking to see if they had anything different. Anyhow, I was standing maybe 4 feet from the counter. This kid, you got to get back 6 feet, sir. I'm like, what? He's behind plexiglass, got his fucking mask on. 6 feet. You give some people just a little bit of power, some kind, and it's laughable on how they react and use it and stuff. And it's the same thing. I was just out last week picked up at a place in California. All right, you got to have masks. They got a place for you to wash your hands before you even go into the shipping office. All that security guard watches you. You put your mask on, you go in, and they got their other safety stuff. It's a steel place, so you got to have your hard hat and safety vest, all that. Oh, okay, all good. In most cases, it's pointless because you're not even going in the building where anything overhead is or anything, But then they give you, the questions. Have you been, symptoms of COVID, all this, and blah, blah, blah. You check all that off. And then, she explains, you got to have your mask on even while you're tying down your load. Now, over where you're tying down your load, there is nobody else around. So I was tempted to go, what? What the hell kind of sense does that make? But I didn't. Screw it. It's California. I'm not gonna get in a stupid argument on how stupid their rules are in a lot of cases. And that's not the first time it's happened to me. I was at another place tying down or taking my equipment off so they could unload over in an area. There ain't anybody within 200 feet of me. And one of these pinheads riding around on a golf cart, security or one of the head guys there drives by and barks at me. I gotta have my mask on. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you friggin' kidding me? There's nobody around. You gotta have your mask on. And it's a power trip. That's all it is. It's a fucking power trip. No common sense. It's just ridiculous how far people go and get taken by some of this crap. It's the same with, the politics of the day. And, we're going to free medical and free this and that. There ain't nothing free, man. Nothing. It's costing somebody somewhere. So me and the average working guy and everything who gets up 5 in the friggin' morning, goes to work every day and grinds it out to provide for his family should not only pay his share of taxes, but should pay more taxes so somebody can go to school for free somewhere, end up getting some real high-tech, really good paying job, and then turn around and be a snob and piss all over the people who provided the money for them to go to school. You got a lot of people working very unglamorous jobs out here, but they're the heartbeat of the freaking country. And their tax dollars are what will be providing all this free stuff for a lot of people who just, aren't nice to begin with. Who think they're above working for anything. And think the people who do go and work and grind it out are stupid. You're supposed to get out of bed and go grind it out every day. Try and make money for your family so the government can tax the shit out of you and take it and give benefits to illegals who've never paid a dime into the system. But we're humanitarians and all this and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Tell Mexico to be humane towards its own people first. How about them apples? Come on, man. That's another thing. Joe Biden, he's always trying to relate how, he can relate to, quote unquote, minorities. It used to mean just less in number. Now it just means blacks and Mexicans. I'd be pissed off if I was black or Mexican and somebody called me a minority. Because the way they use it means you're less capable. You need help. It's been Joe Biden's whole spiel. I was even helping blacks when I was a kid. I got a job as a lifeguard in a black neighborhood at a black pool. What's the matter, Joe? Black people can't swim, so you're going to go save them? Joe Biden was saving black guys even when he was a kid. They can't swim. I better go be a lifeguard. Then he tells a story about when his dad was dropping him off, there was two men kissing. All right, so now you're at a black gay pool. I'm assuming these were black men kissing. And you looked at your dad, and your dad said, "Oh, that's what'd he say? That's because they're in love with each other," or some shit like that. Now, first of all, I wouldn't be taking my kid to be a lifeguard in the hood, in the ghetto. Anyway, I mean, what's up with that? I'm going to take my white kid and drop him off to go work in the ghetto, where there are a lot of people who hate white people. And he even tells a story, well, Switchblade or whatever the guy. And then you'll see two gay guys kissing. Now, I myself would do the very same thing that like Kevin Hart and Chris Rock would do. Get back in the fucking car. That's what they would say to their kids. They'd be, they're taking their kid to get a job at a pool, and there's two guys there kissing. It's a gay pool, whatever the deal was. Whether you're white or black, 99% of the males in this country say, "Get back in the fucking car. You ain't getting no job here." But no, he tries to tell it like it's how progressive him and his father was, and that's where he gets his values from. Oh, it just means they're in love, son. Really? You're a father? You're going to drop your kid off in the hood with two gay guys kissing right there? Okay, that really sounds plausible and real, Joe Biden. Excuse me. I'm sorry, but there you go. Old Joe, he'd been saving black folks since he was a kid, saving them at the swimming pool. Now he wants to save them now and everything else. Legalize dope and give them free everything. He's going to save the planet, too, with windmills. All right, wish you all the best out there. God bless. We'll see you on the next one. And be safe on the roads. Adios.